Hello everyone! Welcome to the final day of my homemade treats class to go. I'm so excited to share this one with you. Today we're making a treat box, which I cannot wait for. It's so adorable. I can't wait to show you guys. If you want to get this class to go for free, if you've loved the projects this week and you want to get the class to go for free, all you need to do is place an order in my online store, minimum of $50 before tax and shipping and after any Stampin' rewards. I'll send you the class to go for free. There are extra bonuses at $100 and $150. If you want more details on how to get the class to go for free, check out the video description, or you can check out video number 1 where I go into more details on how to get the class to go for free. Again, we're using the homemade treats bundle. You will need this bundle to complete your cards. I don't do any of the stamping or the die cutting from the actual bundle. If there's other things that are die cut outside the bundle, I do that for you, but otherwise you will need the bundle. But if you don't have the bundle, that's okay. You can substitute with products you already have as well. I have customers that do that all the time with my kits, and I love seeing what you do with other projects. So just do a quick recap real quick. We made this card on Monday. This was day 1. This was day 2. This was day 3. I love this color palette. The red and green typically doesn't apply to me, but I love this one so much. And today we're not using red and green, but we are making an adorable little gift box. So, oh, it's so cute, isn't it? So we're using some greens and blues. We do have a little bit of red, but mostly greens and blues. Now, the belly band just slides right off for this box. I say that, and then it's like, no, thank you. There it goes. It does slide off. All right, and now the box, it doesn't have anything in it, and that's part of the reason the belly band was having a little bit of trouble sliding on and off. Once you put something in here, once you add weight to your boxes, your belly bands are going to work so much better because there's some stability there for them to grab onto. But this is the box we're making today, and I love this box. It's nice and big. So let me give you some measurements. It is 3 inches by 3 inches, so it's a 3 inch by 3 inches, and then it's 2 inches high. Yeah, so you can fit lots of treats in here. If you have little small cookies, you can fit in here, some chocolates, peppermint bark, some gingerbread cupcakes. I mean, you can really fit a lot of things in here. So let's get that belly band back on, and I should put on like some blocks or something in there just to give it a little bit of weight to get that belly band on and off. All right, but let's go ahead and make the box. The box, you're going to need a piece of crumb cake. This is 10.5 by 7, and I'm going to grab my Simply Scored. You will need to do the scoring on your box. The paper will not come scored. You'll get the full sheet of paper, but you will need to do the scoring. So you can use a paper trimmer. You're Simply Scored. And then just make sure to check the measurements in the video description. Sometimes when I'm reading off measurements from my notes, I read them off wrong. So make sure when you are making this at home, make sure that you are actually looking at the typed measurements in either the video description or on my blog, which is also linked in the video description. All right, on the 10.5 inch side, we're going to score it at 2 and 5 and 7 and 10. All right, now we're going to turn it to the 7 inch side, and we're going to score it at 2 and 5, or 2 inches from each side, but either way. Okay, put the Simply Scored away and grab a bone folder. If you don't make a lot of boxes, you will definitely want to get a bone folder because that is your secret weapon when making boxes. Bone folders are... they really help your boxes look much more professional. They give you some nice crisp edges, and they work great. They're great for cards too. So if you don't have a bone folder, grab one. Add that to your next order. All right, so we're gonna do some trimming on this. So while it's in this like landscape position, and I have that 1/2 inch tab on my right, I'm gonna grab some scissors, and I'm gonna start on my left here. We're just gonna cut up the score lines to that horizontal score line, and on these square tabs we're going to notch in on them, and then after we notch in on them, we're just going to kind of eyeball it and just kind of cut half of it off just like that. So we're going to do the next one, the next square tabs. You're going to cut on the score line straight up. We're going to kind of isolate this square tab here. Now, if you want to cut it in half before you cut the little notches out of it, you can do that too. So you can just cut it in half this way and then just cut the little notches out of it. That works too. Just like that. Now when you get to this piece over here that has that little 1/2 inch piece on there, we're just going to cut that whole piece off. This is going to be the lid to our box. Now, if you do add homemade treats or something like cookies or something, I would put them in like a cellophane bag or something, or wrap them in some way, because the cardstock is going to absorb any of like the butter or the oils from those treats. So you do want to make sure that they're wrapped. All right, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do the exact same thing to this side, just mirroring these. So I'm going to cut up the tabs here. Let's cut this in half and then trim the little corners. So we're going to do the exact same thing on this side. Now, going back to putting homemade treats in your boxes, there is a way that you can actually fuse wax paper onto your cardstock by using an iron and some parchment paper, and then that will make your box, it'll like line it with wax paper, and that will protect the cardstock from picking up any of the oils. I haven't done that in a while, so I'm not going to give instructions on how to do that, but I have done that in the past. But again, it's been a while, so I don't remember the exact steps to do it, but you can fuse wax paper onto cardstock if you want. All right, cut off this last little tab here. I bet if you Google it, I'm sure somebody has a tutorial on it. All right, now for this little 1/2 inch tab here, I'm just gonna cut just a tiny little angle on these. If you have a corner rounder, you can also use a corner rounder punch, but I am just cutting just like a tiny little notch. That's just gonna help it go into the box a little easier. All right, grab some strong glue. I'm going to use Stampin' Seal Plus for this. Tear and tape would work well. Our liquid glue would work well. You just want something super strong. All right, I'm going to put adhesive on all 4 of these little tabs that we cut into. And this is going to make our box. For some reason, it's not looking correct. It's looking a little off. Oh no, it's looking right. Okay. The measurements just looked a little weird. Okay, so you're just going to take the score line from those tabs and line it up with those cut edges. I'm just going to tuck them in just like this. So this is a simple box to put together. So if you are making a lot of treats, if you're making little office gifts or something, this is a simple box to put together, and you can put a lot of these together in a short amount of time. And then you just fill them up with your little treats and you're ready to go. Isn't that box cute? Now, before you did any scoring or trimming, if you wanted to stamp any of the images from that, from here, you could absolutely do that. I would do it before you do the scoring, because sometimes if you stamp over a score line, you don't get a complete image, but you could stamp any of these images all over the box if you wanted to, or you could add extra DSP around the sides. I left mine blank because I just love the simplicity of that, but you could absolutely, if you wanted to step it up a little bit more, you could absolutely do that. All right, let's do our belly band. So you're going to get a piece of DSP. This is from the Traditions of Christmas DSP. It is so gorgeous. There's some gold detailing in there. So pretty. This piece is 2 by 12, and I think we're going to end up trimming it. I don't think we're going to use the full 12-inch piece, but you can trim it if you want. So because we're going to cover up the center of it, I'm actually going to start on the top, and I just like to go around and just kind of pinch the edges. Designer Series paper is thin enough paper that you can really just kind of use your fingers and pinch it to make a belly band. You don't have to worry about score lines, and especially with belly bands and boxes, sometimes those score lines can go down to like the 16th inch, and nobody's got time for that, believe me. All right, I'm just gonna pinch those. And once you have the lines pinched, just grab your bone folder and you can go through and just fold them where you pinched it, and just make sure that it's straight on top to bottom, and that will make sure that your belly band does line up straight. So just go through on those pinch lines. If you need to adjust the straightness of it, you can. All right, keep going, just a couple more. But this is just a simple way to add some fanciness to your box. It's also going to keep your box closed, but It's a super fun way to add that specialness. All right, we're gonna make sure that this still fits. Perfect. All right, let's add some adhesive. On the front, I'm gonna add adhesive to the front of the, along the edge. And then on the inside, on the other side, I'm gonna add adhesive along that edge on the inside. That way when they overlap, they, the whole thing is adhered, but, what am I trying to say? It's all adhered, guys. There we go. All right, I'm gonna slide this off and then just make sure to give this a good burnish from both sides. There we go. Give that a good burnish. We're gonna slide this back on and we're gonna start decorating. There we go. Perfect. So cute. And we're gonna cover that seam up so nobody's ever gonna see it. All right. Words are hard, guys. Words are hard today. All right. You have a piece of secrecy. This is a square 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Another piece of DSP from that Christmas Tags and More package. Again, this is a great, great package for Christmas. I'll be using that one over and over for Christmas. This one is 2 3/4 by 1 3/4, and we're going to adhere this just directly onto our secret C piece, kind of on the bottom. I'm leaving about a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch line on the bottom. I don't want it centered. I just want to, you know, just a little bit of extra texture there. All right, let's stamp our greeting. I have a circle that I have die cut with the Stylish Shapes dies, and I have Secret C ink. We're going to stamp our greeting right onto this circle. Perfect. All right, put that away before we make a mess. And let's get some, well, no, let's go ahead and stick this down. I was going to say, let's put dimensionals on everything, but not everything is going to get dimensionals, so we don't need to put dimensionals on everything. We will put dimensionals on our greeting, and the dimensional backing does not want to come off my hand. Oh my goodness. The dimensionals are fighting back. All right, I'm going to put this kind of off to the right. Not completely centered, just a little bit off to the right. We want to leave room for all of our fun extras. Now, the little oven mitts, these are stamped in Old Olive and then die cut. I am going to put these on dimensionals, but I'm only putting dimensionals on the little bottom of the oven mitts because the tops are going to hang off a little bit. And so you want to make sure those don't have any adhesive. All right, our oven mitts are going to be kind of tucked in just like this. So cute. And then I have 3 candy canes stamped and die cut in Real Red and 2 gingerbread men stamped and die cut in pecan pie. So I'm going to take a 1/2 dimensional and I'm actually going to kind of stick it kind of under the greeting just a little bit, but poking out, and that's going to hold one of our gingerbread men. But I like to stick it directly onto the little tag here because that way we know exactly where it's going. And we don't have any adhesive showing. And I'm doing the exact same thing for on the opposite side. We'll put another little gingerbread guy there. All right, now for our candy canes, I'm going to use just liquid glue, or you can use glue dots. You can also put some mini dimensionals on the back of these candy canes if you want to, if you want to pop them up. I'm going to stick one back here by my oven mitts, and then we'll stick another one up here by this little gingerbread guy. And then the last one will go down on the bottom by the other gingerbread guy. Just adhere that just like that. So cute, right? So cute already. All right, let's get some black matte dots on here. You can use any of the colors that you want. You're going to get a nice selection in your kit. And if your order's over $150, you're going to get a full package of these in your kit. But I'm just going to do a couple of those. And we will stick this onto our belly band with dimensionals. I'm going to add the dimensionals directly to the belly band to make sure that we don't adhere the tag to the actual box. If we put them on the back of the tag, we might actually just adhere the tag to the box. All right, this will go on just like that. And that completes this sweet little box. Isn't it adorable? So lots of fun little treats are going to fit in here. You can even fill them with candy or something if you don't want to bake anything. Fill them with candy. Everybody loves candy, guys. It's fine. So fill them up with candy. All right, let's take a look at all the projects we made this week. So we have our treat box that we made today. We have our fun Z-fold card from yesterday, our baking card, and then the 'Tis the Season for baking cards. So all of these projects are designed to be kind of mass produced if you're giving stuff away this year. If you want to get this class to go for free, make sure to place that online order by October 31st in my online store. By October 31st, your order needs to be minimum of $50 before tax and shipping. And there are special bonuses at $100 and $150. So make sure to check those out if you want to get this class to go for free. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this class to go. I'll be back very soon with more videos. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet already subscribed to my channel. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.